Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Just letting you know that you can support this show directly by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. It has never been a better time to be a Duckfeed patron. I know that's something that like infomercials at 2 a.m. say, but it's actually true. They started up on Fireside Chat again. Gary and Cole are releasing these like exclusive episodes that kind of don't fit anywhere else on the network. I would recommend Winging It with Will, where Gary and Will from Everything to Guppy sit outside of a wing joint and discuss Fallout 76 and all of its shortcomings. So check all of that stuff out, patreon.com/DuckFeedTV. I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where we hulk out every other week for your pleasure. And Gary, it's been a minute.
And privilege.
Like, we took a little break. We released that live episode from Duckstream 2018, and once again, thank you to all the people that came out for that. But now we're back to continue our season journey into the Hulk. And did every writer on this show start snorting cocaine at the same time, or was it? What happened in this season?
I feel like they listened to us because we were like, this show is fun, or the show is okay, but it's best when it's kind of fun and dumb. And they were like, fun and dumb, huh? You like fun and dumb? And then they just started opening up the gates to fun and dumb. And I have watched episodes 3 and 4 of this season, which are funner and dumber. Episode 4 is fucking apeshit. Like, it's the Mr. Fix-It episode where Hulk becomes a mob enforcer.
I can't wait. Yes.
It's pretty weird, man. And it's weirder than episode 3 where She-Hulk and Doctor Strange take a tour through Bruce Banner's mind through the fantasy section of his mind. That includes surfing and playing bass.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
It's like the saddest thing to me that Bruce Banner's fantasy is bass.
Hopefully he didn't. They didn't
guitar.
They didn't dip into its spank bank and just see a bunch of She-Hulk in there because Jesus Christ.
Well, you Jeremy, like you joke, but like there is some weird fucking dirty play in that, man. Like it is a weird episode. It's a weird episode. This is now a weird series. Welcome to Weird Series.
Yeah, and that's the first thing we should probably mention is that the intro has changed a little bit, and the title of the show changed. Like this used to be The Incredible Hulk, and now it's The Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk. And the She-Hulk is a much more prominent character, and at least in these first 2 episodes, and I'm sure throughout
she's
the rest
the main
of the season.
character for most of what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And I've seen the season's much shorter. It's an 8-episode season, so we're only taking a pit stop here. We'll be here for a couple months. In the 4 episodes I've seen, she is the predominant character. Like the plot still revolves around Bruce Banner, but she is our kind of point of view character usually.
I gotta say, we did in the second episode we're going to cover today. Betty, Rick, General Ross, the gamma base, none of that shit appears, and I was kind of glad for it. Like we still get some leader stuff, but I'm actually kind of really enjoying the leader stuff at this point because it's so fucking weird and terrible, and Gargoyle's kind of getting his own back. But it was such a nice break not to have to worry about General Ross like yelling at Betty for something for a little while. And just, Rick's not on the screen, so I was totally fucking down for that.
None of that stuff, all that stuff that was kind of a drag in the first season is gone and replaced with, what? Like, replaced with something completely weird. And I'm pretty down here for it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun as a season. I'm actually kind of glad it's so short as well. Like, even if it was weird, the temptation is like, oh, this is weird and good, let it keep going. I would rather this just be like this weird little blip.
What is why is She-Hulk so sexy? Like we've talked about this a little bit in the last season, Because as soon as she gets her powers, like she treats her like she orgasms to a Hulk for the. I mean, that's exactly what happens.
Yep,
and then
Hulkgasm.
And then literally everybody orgasms when they see her, and she orgasms herself as she's talking about herself, which she does quite a bit. And it's basically just a loop of infinite Hulkgasms, which is the worst Smashing Pumpkins cover album I've ever heard.
Infinite Hulkgasm. Hulkgasm. Hulk smash. It was all Hulkgasm win Hulk smash.
Yep.
They don't. If you thought that was going to go away, like, oh, this works for She-Hulk as a guest. When she's a main character, though, they can't play stripper music every second she's on screen and have it be about her libido. You'd be wrong, because it is as if not more about her libido and how sexy she is.
And they've really sexed her up as a character too, like her outfits and stuff. Like there was one scene where I was watching this in Autumn and like looked up and she was like, "Why is She-Hulk's ass hanging out of? What is she wearing? Like it's almost basically like a thong. Like it looks like a swimsuit, like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit picture. Like that's what I would expect to see this in."
Yep. She does that outfit, like a similar outfit to that, with a new haircut in the 4th episode to dress as a mobster. And I'm like, mobsters don't dress like fucking American gladiators. She-Hulk, what are you doing? It's very strange. It is so clearly somebody's masturbation fuel who was making it.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that I now feel is even more undeniable than I ever was before. And like, I don't want to kink shame that person. It's just weird that it's a kid's cartoon, that somebody's like fetish is just like literally up on the screen. I don't know. Alternative answer as to why she's so sexy. It's the boobs and vagina.
Yes, of course.
It's just like, they're just good and strong, big.
Yeah. Good, strong vagina, good boobs. That's the
good, big vagina. Yeah, good big vagina, mega strong.
Roomy. Male seeks female with roomy vagina.
Looking for a real roomy, looking for a home to call my own.
Looking for plenty of space in the old vagina attic is what I'm looking for.
Hulk.
Single
green Hulk. H for H. Single green Hulk. Looking for She-Hulk. Must not be cousin. Asterisk. Might be cousin. Roomy vagina. Inquiries at Gamma Base.
I guess we have enough Hulks to do a fuck, marry, kill now. Like we could do Grey Hulk, normal Hulk, She-Hulk. We could even do Grey Hulk, normal Hulk, and Rick Hulk, which I think would be pretty funny. But yeah,
Teen Hulk, yeah. Even though I was so excited when I read that, just the phrase Teen Hulk felt like it had an immense amount of power to me.
Yes,
and he's barely in it. Yeah. We do not get very much Teen Hulk. I'm sad to say.
I wanted Teen Hulk to have Rick's really bad one-liners, but in like Hulk parlance, and I couldn't. They just didn't get there for me. Like they just weren't there.
Like Hulk 180, Hulk Ollie. That's totally what I wanted. Hulk boneless into nose grab 360. It's exactly what I wanted. And Teen Hulk barely even talks. You know,
no, yeah,
it's just the way they wrote Rick Jones out of the show is by turning him into a Hulk. That's really weird. That's a weird. They obviously just don't want to deal with Betty and Rick Jones and all of that stuff, so they're getting rid of it. And the way they did it by turning everyone into a Hulk and then just like ignoring them.
I mean, look, this worked for me when I decided to leave home in 1997. I just turned all of my family into Hulks and then moved to Baton Rouge.
Later Hulks.
Never looked back.
Later Hulks.
See you later, Mom Hulk.
Bye bye.
Mom Hulk, miss son.
Empty nest for Hulk.
Son Hulk, take Cookie with him when he goes.
You just get like Mom Hulk includes a note with your lunch, and it's just like kind of a cipher. They draw them with their left hand. It's maybe her hugging you, but also maybe some kind of like sideways centipede or something like that.
I love that Mom Hulk is so nice in this universe that we're creating. Like it's really good. Like Stepdad Hulk is a Hulk. Like Ron Hulk is a real piece of shit.
Yeah, Ron Hulk is bad. Also, Uncle Hulk is pretty fun.
Oh, Uncle Hulk would be great. Like he just constantly bringing over broken video games for you to play.
The Avuncular Hulk.
As like Jesus Christ.
God, I would read that comic. Like he just brings over video games. And he gives you like a keychain, and it looks like it's like a little ViewMaster, but when you look in it, it's like a 70s naked lady.
Of course.
And then whenever you like, when you look at it, and you look at the lady, you like look up at him. He's just got this fucking that specific kind of shit-eating grin that uncles can have at weddings. You know,
man. There's
like, Hulk goes up to the urinal. He's like, "This where all dicks hang out."
There's I googled the word avuncular Hulk, and it's bringing me to an article about it's an interview with Peter David.
Okay,
and I'm just
so maybe it's real.
Yeah,
that's a Hulk writer.
The fallen angel, a woman of questionable morality who is trying to find a place for herself in a morally ambiguous world. She works out of the Führers, a bar run by an avuncular German named Dolph. I don't know what's going on here, but we need to get out of here.
Yeah. We're the Fallen Angel podcast is like season 730 of this.
Yeah, we have to start putting up everything to Guppy like episode numbers by the time we get there. But go ahead and fill us in on the on what we're covering.
Yeah,
today.
let's say what's happening here. This is a Hulk season 2 episode 1, Hulk of a Different Color. This is written by Ron Merrick and directed by Ron Merrick, written by Bob Forward, premiered on September 21st, 1997. Picking up after the events of Darkness and Light, Ross confronts the new Grey Hulk, and a battle between them results in Ross landing in a coma and Banner being arrested. She-Hulk comes to her cousin's aid, but the leader now returned to his pre-mutation form, and the Gargoyle have plans for Banner's other half. Fair enough.
We get this like thing that we got during the Darkness and Light trilogy, which was Betty explaining into her vlog, into her Hulk vlog, what's been happening. Sister. And when she gets to this stuff about She-Hulk and tells the audience what happened, Betty seems like she's kind of into the She-Hulk as well. Like she can't help her turned into this vivacious, amazing, strong woman named She-Hulk. And I'm like, y'all know she green, right? Like I'm not the only one here.
Men want her, women want to be her. The scenes that they show when they show the She-Hulk there are this close up on her abs.
Yes.
And then the scene where she's on the roof and she Marilyn Monroe's it and has to push down her skirt so the wind doesn't show her vagina.
They do that ab shot.
Her strong, roomy vagina. Yeah.
that ab shot comes up like quite often in like 42 minutes of television that I've watched about this.
I'm into like heterosexual Betty Ross though, or heteroflexible rather. I feel like she could probably make an exception for She-Hulk because she's already pretty into the Hulk, right? Like there's a subtext that Betty Ross is turned on by the Hulk. Because otherwise, why would she put up with this bullshit?
I would, at this point, I'm just assuming like, you know, she is a Hulk fetishist at this point. Like she's fetishizing other Hulk's identities so she can get off. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's one of those.
I think
people.
So too.
Like it, you know, if it's not green, it's not for me. So
yeah, exactly. Once you go green,
then you always go green.
Once you go green,
Betty says very seriously to her blog.
To Doc Samson, who's like sadly tugging in the corner, like just quite a Hulk.
Looking up the latest green makeup line from Rihanna or whoever,
L'Oreal.
So Betty tells us that General Ross went out hunting after the events of the season 1 finale, and he's out there with an Omega laser trying to find Grey Hulk. And he does, and he's surprised that the Grey Hulk is fully articulate. He's not Banner. He takes on this like rude, like biker mentality, almost like a guy that you don't want to piss off at a biker bar.
He is like a rude biker.
Yeah.
Also, they're trying to show General Ross having stubble, and the way they do that is like they dip his chin in gray paint.
Yep.
Like it does not look like stubble. It's just half of his face is gray. It's very strange. It's a really bad effect.
Yeah, it looks like he just had a mask on and then went to the tanning salon. I forgot about it. Like it's just like his skin is 2 different colors. Grey Hulk is very, very proud of his muscles. He tells Ross to check this carved granite. and like
he flexes.
This is gonna be something that's common. Like all of these Hulks are pretty into their bodies in these 2 episodes. They're just really
true. Body positive Hulk. The body positive Hulk is what they should change the series to because they are extremely body positive. Like all these plus size Hulks. So he eventually, this Hulk can dodge the laser a couple times because he's not a mindless beast, but Ross is just point blank. So he eventually shoots Hulk, knocks him back. And then we get to the intro of the show, which is no longer this weird, trippy dream sequence. Like they've gotten rid of that aspect of the show entirely. Now it is actually showing the things that happen in the show. It's a bunch of action scenes between Hulk and She-Hulk. And you get kind of a preview of some of the stuff we're going to be fighting, or they're going to be fighting this season, things they're going to be dealing with. I think I saw the Bi Beast in there, so look forward to that, and possibly the KG Beast. So I've seen both of those classic Hulk villains.
One of my customers is in this kind of like this fishing town down on the Gulf of Mexico, and there's a camp there that's called KGB Enterprises, and I just I asked the dude the first time it came up, we were out reading meters, and I'm like, is what? And he's like, yeah, it's three brothers. It's like Carl, Greg, and Bob. And I'm like, but you could have done BGK. What? Why did Carl insist on his name being first and Greg insist his name being second when that's a whole thing with a lot of connotation?
That sounds real fake, right? That sounds like a front for the KGB.
How are these people not constantly audited by the IRS?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Ross eventually manages to shoot him after the intro, right?
Yeah, he definitely does, and he keeps shooting him, but it's not really having an effect. And the ricochets end up collapsing Ross, collapsing a rock slide onto Ross, and the Hulk has to dive on him and save him.
And so he manages to pull Ross out, and then he's starting to change back to Banner, and he's trying to resist this. He doesn't want to go back to puny Banner, and we get a lot of these weird mental flashes of things that have happened, and we're going to see this a couple of times as he tries to resist turning into Banner. I actually really like this. The more they could lead into the horror of your body transforming against your will into another person, the more I'm into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The idea that for Banner to live, Hulk must die is a really interesting idea. The Hulk being its own thing is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he can't resist. He turns back. A helicopter shows up and finds Banner and Ross, and the soldiers are like, oh, the Hulk killed Ross. Or destroy, beat him up. So they arrest Banner. Banner does not get angry and turn to the Hulk, which is what you would think would happen here. He just gets arrested.
Is it common knowledge amongst the soldiers that Banner is Hulk at this point? I feel like the show has played pretty fast and loose with who knows that Banner is actually Hulk or not. So I don't know. Obviously these are Gamma-based soldiers, but I don't know.
He just thought that Banner took off his shirt and then caused a series of rock slides, lifted up several tons of rocks to pull it. Maybe it's not common knowledge, but if not, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
We
go over to She-Hulk just briefly, who is just driving around. I guess more importantly, they arrest Banner here. They actually say you are under arrest. We go over to She-Hulk, who is constantly followed around town with a group of sax players at all times.
The stripper music is out of this world. Also, I'm watching, since I watched this a while ago. I'm rewatching it now in the background. Did you happen to catch how complicated her car stereo is?
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't put it in here, but because I don't really think you give a shit about car stereos. But I was like, did she get that from a fucking Crutchfield catalog? Is that?
It's got a 3.5 floppy drive. It's really fucking weird.
Is that a Kenwood unit from 1996? Where did you get this?
It's got a tape deck, a CD deck, and then an 8-track or Atari cartridge deck, and and 30 glowing buttons. It is a ridiculous car stereo.
I used to have a car stereo that on the LED display, which showed dolphins swimming in the ocean. So I'm kind of in the know. I know what's up.
A thing or two about car toys.
Yeah. If you need any car audio advice, just ask me, the dolphin guy.
Do you guys have car toys out where you're at? Do you have that store?
No.
There's a store out here called Car Toys, and it's stereos and stuff like that. And they have a radio jingle that I used to listen. I had to listen to when I worked in retail. And the radio jingle is just someone going, "Come on and get your toys."
Oh, weird. That's super weird.
So it'd be I'd be walking around like Fred Meyer, helping people lift up furniture and stuff, and be like, "Come to Car Toys for our 30th anniversary event. Grab stereos for something." Come on and get your toys.
Down here, that's Kirk's got the works. Kirk's got the works.
I like that shit too. Yeah, man, there's a place nearby I've talked about on shows called Tap Plastics.
Okay.
That is this place that sells plastic goods. It's actually really fun. It's pretty close to my house. And they have a jingle that I'd never heard before, but when I was telling somebody who was local, I was like, yeah, man, this place is Tap Plastics. They're like, oh yeah, from the theme song. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I went online and found the theme song, and it's awesome. It's it hasn't been updated since 1980. It's just tap, tap, tap plastics. It's this really, really great plastics theme song. I love jingles.
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of jingles too. Obviously, not all of them are good, but they're all they're a perfect measurement of time. You know exactly when a jingle was written. Like nothing ever sounds like it was written 10 years earlier.
Yeah, nothing is timeless. Yeah.
So we go over to the leader. The leader is having some issues.
The big thing that the Hulk does is she uses her super stereo to hear about Bruce Banner's arrest.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that.
No, it's okay.
And she's a lawyer. If you may have missed that with all of the sexy stripper activities, but
her full time being a full time strumpet. She's actually a lawyer in her spare time.
So she's going to go and defend him in court, which I find very hilarious. But the leader, who the last time we saw him had grown into like a super smart and super strong Hulk, but it affected him negatively, is still having a bunch of issues. In fact, his weird mutated head is just doing that weird gross thing that it did last time, and like literally growing, expanding and contracting at weird intervals, and I hate it. Like I don't know why this animation bothers me so much, but it's super gross.
His skull is like gonna burst. It's pretty disgusting.
So gross. I love the line he says here, like because he's getting dumber, he can feel his intelligence slipping away, and he's like, I have to use my fingers for all these quadratic equations. And I'm like, dude, you've been videotaping the Hulk for like 2 weeks. You're not doing quadratic equations.
Dude, like essentially what you do is hang out in a cave with a mutant.
You're like one word removed from a sex, lies, and videotapes star.
Just lies and videotapes. So Gargoyle says, like, listen, there's a teen Hulk now. He's been fighting these robots in the desert. If we get that guy, maybe that's what we can do. Like we can get that guy and steal the Hulk out of him, and then use him to reverse my mutation. Leader abuses him a little bit, of course. Like Leader is just like, oh, your stupid mutation, you fucking idiot. Why do you want to not be ugly? As he always does. But then he's like, that's a terrible idea, and starts turning back into a human. Which is kind of great. Like we are now in a reverse situation with the Leader and Gargoyle, where the Gargoyle is going to be the smart one, and the Leader is the servant.
Yeah. I really like this. I like this turn. In fact, I like a lot what they do with Gargoyle in these 2 episodes. To be honest with you, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. He's funny. He gets his own as well. He's
does
gonna try to get his groove back. So
the Leader drools an abnormal amount for just a normal person, huh? Is this gamma drool? Foaming. Is that what this is?
It's like foaming at the mouth.
It's really gross and like super well animated compared to the rest of the show.
His skull was like contracting and expanding before, but when he turns back into a human, he just fades away and fades in as a human. It's like they wanted to spare us his skull being reshaped back into a normal skull.
God, that
so
shit
thank goodness for that. Ugh. Gargoyle, who's now the leader, yells at him, calls him Stearns, and says, like, here's your shovel. You get to do all the shoveling I was doing. And it completely bypasses the question of what the fuck the Gargoyle was shoveling.
Why were you digging a hole in the cave? Is this the shithole? Is this the gamma shithole? Are you making a bigger
cave? like, listen, I like roomy vaginas, like roomy caves. Like, give me both. Like, what are you doing, Gargoyle? Why dig?
Notches in the corner, just making notes. Okay. No. I see what you're doing here. You're making the cave bigger. Okay, I got an idea. I know what I'm going to do with this.
we cut over to a court where Bruce is there. She-Hulk comes in, and we get this array of horny jury members, like doing the literal like, oh yeah. Like pushing their sunglasses down so they can She-Hulk more, like her like whipping her hair back and forth like it's a shampoo commercial. Like it is, everyone has literally flipped their shit for how hot She-Hulk is.
It's like so over the top. Like literally everybody. Like when she walks into a room, this happens in the next episode as well. The whole room is just instantly like donged up for her. Like regardless of race, gender, sex, or anything. Like it's just everyone's just donging out with their eyes, and I it's so weird, man. Like why are they? Yeah. This is a kid show. Like I don't normally say that. Like I don't care, but it's just such a weird thing to do.
That's ultimately the thing, right? Like it's fine, and also it's that, but also the fact that the show is not about how hot she. I mean, it kind of is because we spend a lot of time on it. But the show, if like you could do a comic arc about the She-Hulk getting her groove back and exploring her sexuality, and that would be a good comic. Like I think there's room for that comic. I would like to read that comic. Instead, this is a thing about the leader and the Gargoyle switching places and trying to get the Hulk arrested and all these things. And the She-Hulk's absolute powerhouse sexuality is not really dealt with or central to the thing.
Yeah, it's at best it's being used as a joke, and at worst it's being used because somebody was super horny for She-Hulk and wanted to express that. Like those are the two places that this She-Hulk factor goes. And man, I don't know, man. It's just it's a weird situation.
It's a lot. We're gonna come off like Duckfeed prudes, like talking about this, but I just want everyone who's listening to know how much this is like pushed in our faces.
It's
through this.
The saxophones, Gary. Like
I can't imagine where she is, Your Honor. I mean,
Jennifer Walters for the defense, Your Honor. But you can call me the She-Hulk.
Please take your seat, Ms. Hulk. She Walters. Ms. Walters.
Like I'll probably drop some of the audio in, just because it's so over the top and ridiculous that you can't, if you're not watching the show, you don't believe me when I say it, but it's anytime she appears, it's like watching fucking what was the David Lynch movie with the saxophone guy at the beginning?
Mulholland Drive.
No, it was one
Lost Highway.
Lost Highway. Like it's like that scene, except there's also a sexy woman in it. It's just constant sex all the time, and it's just
nonstop,
weird.
Nonstop stripper music. It's extremely strange. As soon as she comes in, two people take pictures of her.
Yep.
Like they're just like, ooh, we're putting this in the bank.
Yeah, we got to put this in page 6. A lawyer showed up to her job and was kind of hot.
Yeah. She's wearing a very funny outfit as well. She's wearing this like really wide-shouldered, like purple and blue business suit. That's very loud. There's also, man, I'm looking at now behind the judge. There's a picture of a cowboy.
I have this
there's
in
like
the
a
notes.
Davy Crockett.
I have this in the notes. I was going to ask why there's a cowboy.
Like, why is this the Davy Crockett Memorial? Like,
it's so fucking weird because they go to the trouble. Because what's going to happen here is Leader and Gargoyle are going to crash into the thing, and it's going to get knocked over. And like I think somebody like moves to pick it up or moves it out of the way so it won't get hurt. Like, oh, we got to protect the governor's picture.
The picture of Governor Cowboy.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah. I love the Leader and Gargoyle's jet where they have the little like his and her like little pods on either side.
Yes, yeah. This is very
like
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four
car.
jet to me. Yeah,
yeah. The Fantastic 2.
I also like that. So the Gargoyle here is actually making sure that Leader promises, like, "Hey, I'll give you your intelligence back, but you have to give me my face back. Like, I want my face back."
Yep.
And by the time they end up crashing into that's not quite yet. We go back over to She-Hulk, who is showing off her lawyer skills by lifting up the stenographer in her chair with one hand. I don't know. Do you learn that at Brown? Is that where you learned that?
The defense rest, but I don't need to. Like it's very weird to torture the stenographer like that. Then goes and intimidates the jury. Like She-Hulk is a bad lawyer.
She's a bad
she is
lawyer.
Crooked. She's only using sex and muscle to like win these cases. She's a Daredevil villain. Like it's very weird. So she's making a case here. Yeah, she's saying it couldn't be Banner who did the crime. Or it wasn't Banner, it was the Hulk who did the crime because Banner is the Hulk. But the prosecutor says, hey, actually, we have some live feed of the Hulk.
Twitch.tv/Hulk Desert.
Hulk Desert shows a weird drone or something like a sky's eye view of Rick Hulk. So he can't be the Hulk because we have this like panning shot of him stomping through the desert. Like,
it's so weird, man. I don't know why. I don't know where all these video cameras are coming from.
I don't know.
And before anything could actually get done about this, Gargoyle and Leader literally crash into the wall, and then tries to grab Banner with the robot arm. And yeah, this is where I noticed the cowboy painting. But yeah, it's been there the entire time. It's very funny.
Knocked down this. It kind of looks a little bit like Teddy Roosevelt. Maybe.
I mean, I guess in theory, like they're in
now.
New Mexico. So
yeah, I don't. That's not the Teddy Roosevelt thing, but it is very funny.
It's so
the
so
cowboy
weird.
painting in this courthouse.
There's a thing in the background in the next episode we'll cover, which I've already forgotten the name of. But when I saw it, I was like, "You really named it Fat something? What the fuck is wrong with you?" Anyway, so they grab Banner, but the Leader, because he's so fucking stupid now, accidentally drops him, which gives Jennifer the opportunity to rip off her court clothes, where she's in her Hulk gym outfit, I guess.
Her
Like she's
yeah.
Like I mean, she looks like she's wearing like a really supportive sports bra, and like she looks like she's like a fucking CrossFit person at the gym. Like you run into those.
She
people,
does look like that.
Yeah, like she's fucking muscled up and like fit.
And before she can go fight this, the Gargoyle takes his jet, grabs Banner, and starts flying the jet very slowly through the courthouse.
Yeah, it's real fucking weird.
Just like it's very weird. Like the jet can move extremely slowly and in a very tight space. Gargoyle, she jumps up on and straddles the fucking view screen or the clear glass in his cockpit, and starts punching it to get in because she's mad. Gargoyle looks in, and there's one of the weirdest shots in this where it cuts back and forth between her doing that and like Gargoyle like licking his lips and, you know, essentially just making general mouth horniness. And that, like, we get the message, Fox Kids. The Gargoyle also thinks she's hot, just like the animators do.
Oh, he's and this is going to be something that's consistent. Like, I don't know if it shows up in episode 3 or 4, but in the next episode, like, there's a whole arc around him just being horny for She-Hulk. That's it. Yeah. That's all he's into.
Just this shot of them going back and forth between their mouths, like her mad and him just like, yeah, I want to taste that. Like, it's a lot. It is just a lot. Because she distracted him, she jumps off, she pulls off a piece of their jet. They then crash through the other wall that they've been slowly moving through this courthouse. And the courthouse is at the top of a skyscraper for some reason.
Of course it is.
You know how like courtrooms are.
Just like all courtrooms that I've ever been into are always very high in the air.
Yep. So that they dangle, and so now he's in the claw at the front of the jet being dangled off of, you know, the Manhattan skyline. Like essentially he's going to fall, and this is enough to make him Hulk out.
Yeah. But he's not green hulking out. He's gray hulking out.
Yeah.
And the leader is like, "Am I going colorblind? Is this what being dumb looks like? I can't tell the color green anymore."
Mm-hmm.
Gray Hulk has some real funny one-liners when he does some smashing, because he says it's time for some gray matter smashing, which I think is very funny. He also manages to break loose and bring down this robot car plane thing with just the extremely expedient method of throwing a car at it, which the amount of times that Hulk throws a car out of his troubles is very hilarious to me.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Leader gets back at least a little bit of his smartness, right? Because he says, like, listen, we can offer to get rid of Banner for this Hulk. This Hulk obviously, you know, it's very hard to tell what kind of intelligence the leader has as a human. Because he's an idiot, he drools, he can't handle the controls, he keeps pressing like the button that says let Banner go. But he also is just like, hey, clearly this is a different Hulk. He wants to get rid of Banner. Let's offer him this thing that he wants. You know, so he's kind of smart as well. Because
he very clearly recognizes that Grey Hulk does not want to turn back into Banner and acts on it appropriately. So like I feel like Stearns or whatever this dude's real name is always had like a low base cunning about him and could probably figure out how to manipulate people. And then you add like super intelligence on that and you get a Redditor. That's how they're made, everybody.
Yep.
That's how
Reddit
that works.
Leader. Yep.
So before any of that can really be resolved, She-Hulk shows up and kicks people out of the way, and just kicks them out of the way. They run away. She says she introduces herself to Grey Hulk essentially, and then he slaps her on the ass and sends her careening across the city. Like that's literally what happens in this cartoon we just watched. You're watching it right now, right? Like, tell me you don't want me to gif this later, right? He slaps her on the ass so hard she leaves the fucking city.
Yeah, he's about to do it.
I might make this one ping pong back and forth. So she like flies out of the city and then comes back to his hand, and then flies out of the city and then comes back to the hand.
She's very shocked about it, not least of which because it's her cousin.
Yes. Well,
like it just seems like,
I think she's pretty used to Banner getting a little hands-on with her. So
it's like handsy Banner is my least favorite. Banner. So that happened. What the fuck? Betty, we go to Betty. Betty's doing some CSI stuff, which is just another video feed. Like whenever anyone does this research in this, it's the fact that they've previously set up cameras fucking everywhere.
Everywhere. This is the most filmed desert I've ever seen in my entire life. Cameras every inch of this motherfucker.
The side plot of The Dark Knight. But it actually came true, you know? So She-Hulk eventually had walked back from the epic ass slap. What Betty did was she found out that it was Grey Hulk and Ross, and that Hulk did not actually hurt Ross.
So she was worried it was
Banner.
And I think that's
she was worried it was Banner, yeah.
But she actually sees Grey Hulk like sees Grey Hulk like save her dad and like pull him out of the rubble or whatever. So she knows that everything is cool there.
Yep.
So then we go over to Rick Hulk, who is just wandering around the desert growling at things. Like that's what he does. Grey Hulk shows up and then is like convinces Rick Hulk in like 3 seconds that they're friends, and then just literally punches him right afterwards. It's really good.
It's pretty good. I'm actually really into Grey Hulk.
Yeah,
in general,
he's so bad. He's so awful.
He's like a douchebag. Yeah.
He's every Jason Mantzoukas character on a sitcom. Like this is what Grey Hulk is.
Totally that. He's totally.
I might have said his last name wrong, so forgive me, everybody.
Okay. No, yeah, it's Mantzoukas. He's what's his head? The guy who makes the perfumes in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the guy that wants to fuck his sister on the League. So yeah, all this makes sense.
Exactly. So they put them both there, and they're going to do it. Like the leader, if he was not greedy, they're getting what they want, right? They start sucking out Hulk juice. Rick turns into Rick. So that was the short reign of Teen Hulk.
Yeah.
That's all we got, unfortunately. Leader gets his strength back, which is what he wants, and he gets that. But he is like, Grey Hulk's like, take the banner out of me, and they start doing it, but it actually starts sucking out his strength as well. To make the leader into smart, strong Hulk, which is what he has always wanted.
I would prefer it if you used the technical term, the gamma stuff. They're sucking the gamma stuff out of him.
Sucking, is gamma. So he's trying to betray the Grey Hulk, which is just like, don't be so fucking greedy. Like, Grey Hulk ain't nothing to fuck with. And Grey Hulk starts rebelling against this, and She-Hulk previously put a tracker, I think we forgot to mention that, on the plane. So she shows up now to save Grey Hulk's ass.
Even worse than She-Hulk put a tracker on the plane, they left a homing device in the plane in the place where they followed Hulk last. Like they just left a device that could be tracked to them. Like it's not like
that is what it is.
It's not like she Batmaned her way into this. She picked up a thing and it basically said to the leader and followed it.
They left the tracking device for her. She gets there. She karate chops off the Grey Hulk's restraints.
Really funny to me that she's all of a sudden like a karate master. But when I say karate master, I don't mean like any legit karate. I mean like the exact stuff that you would do in third grade on the playground with your friends. Like, no actual skill involved. She also tells some of the Gamma Warriors to take a treat and smell my feet, which seems really weird.
the fetishizing is getting way too specific at this point.
I was really on board with the 1996 cartoon series The Incredible Hulk until we started talking about smelling the She-Hulk's feet. Then I had to reconsider my life decisions at that point.
It's this is an aside, and this is a weird flex. I'll just get that out there and get it out ahead of that. My feet don't smell bad. They never really have. Like as a thing, like I always think of feet as smelling bad, and it's a thing in cartoons and stuff. But I've just kind of like been blessed where I just don't sweat very much from them. Like
do you think this is a thing where your feet smell fucking horrible and everyone else's feet don't smell bad at all, and you're just reversed, you're like polarized against it or something?
No, I don't think so. And I mean, possibly, I guess. But my thinking is that I would be able to smell it because I could.
If I really like that you said no to that. Like, no, that's absolutely not the case. There could never be a case where my feet stink, Jeremy. How dare you?
No sailing on that one, Greer. No, it's just this weird thing where I always because I remember as a kid finding it confusing that in like cartoons and stuff, it's always like, ew, feet, and I was like, what's wrong with feet? I didn't really get it. And then like I smelled my first like foul smelling foot, which was probably my dad's, and I was like, oh, okay, like sometimes they're disgusting, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't really want to presume to know. I mean, I guess what's really gonna be sad though is like when you hit that magical 40-year-old age, and then all of a sudden all of the feet comes out at once, like you've been storing it up in your feet glands, and then
it's gonna be solid at that point. It's gonna be like my feet start extruding like kind of like a brown yogurt.
I take it back. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
You open the door, you fucking can't escape out the window now. So yeah, pretty cool. Life that I got going on there. And then they're fighting the Gamma Gang at this point, who are been invited to smell the She-Hulk's feet.
Yes. And then Grey Hulk starts kind of getting into this. He's really into smashing and crashing. He's having a good time. And She-Hulk like grabs Rick, who's now just normal Rick, who hasn't spoken. Which once again,
even though he's buffer now, it seems like
he does look a little buffer now. But I mean, like
a lot buffer.
But I mean, maybe some of those muscles, like some of that exercise, translates over. I don't know. Gargoyle runs away, and Grey Hulk has another one of those like weird mind flashes that we saw earlier. And instead of turning into Banner, he gets really mad and turns into Green Hulk, and then really starts fucking up the lab and the cave and everything else.
So Green Hulk is the ultimate expression of like Hulk power.
Yeah,
it goes like Banner, Gray, Green.
This is like a Kinsey scale, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, exactly. Gargoyle escapes. She-Hulk rescues Rick. The Gamma Warriors all run away, so like that's the world's problem now.
They'll be back. Don't worry, they'll all come back. The leader feeds them a special food that they can't get anywhere else. Like they have to have the antidote to the poison once a day,
like a stray cat.
Yeah.
The lysine contingency in Jurassic Park. So back in court, She-Hulk is in her weird fucking G-string, and she's there, and Betty is the one who gets the charges dropped. Like she shows the judge the tape. And the tape shows like, hey, like, that couldn't Banner. Hulk tried to save him regardless, so there was no crime.
Yeah.
And the judge lets them off. One of the things is this gigantic skyscraper that's, 70 stories or whatever. The bottom of it just has a thing that says court.
Cool.
In big letters.
There's some weird signage in this thing. Like in the next episode, She-Hulk gets an invitation, and it looks like somebody hand scrawled it on there. Like they didn't take any time to like pick a font or to even draw a font. It's like no, I'm gonna have my 4-year-old scrawl this 10-year reunion thing. So
it's great. I love that. So then Banner in this whole thing, when he's just like walking around shirtless again, and somehow She-Hulk finds him. Gives him like an energy drink, and he jumps in and they go shopping for clothes. And that's the end of the episode.
That's so weird. So very weird. But I mean, I like the energy of this episode a lot better than I liked most of the energy from the previous episodes.
Oh,
like
totally.
It's just so leaning into the crazy, and like Jennifer Walters is actually kind of a cool character in all of this. Like I'm actually kind of glad that she's there, because otherwise it's just Hulk smash, and she can kind of bring something more to the table. And I'm kind of here for this right now, even though this is just the goofiest shit that I've seen in a long time. And I watched Venom a couple of weeks ago, so I know about goofy shit.
Yeah, man, good goofy shit. That good goof. The next episode we're covering is Down Memory Lane, which is directed by Ron Merrick again. This time written by Meg McLaughlin. So we got a lady writer for the first time in the series, I think. Premiered on September 28th, 1997. She-Hulk's high school reunion turns sour when not only does she start to get tired, period. That'd be. I would like that story.
Same. Big mood, as the teens say.
Yeah. But Gargoyle and the Abomination attack. Remember the Abomination? No? Well, here he is.
Yeah. He's kind of the Hulk, but not. And also he got kind of smart at one point in the last season. This opens with Jennifer walking into her what I thought was a gym, but it's like she's getting mail there, but also Bruce is there in gym, like doing a workout routine too. So I guess she has a gym at her apartment building. It's just such a weird thing, because like she's arriving in gym clothes. He's already there in gym clothes, and people are also leaving in gym clothes. So I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, it is a weird future gym.
Days of Future Jim, starring She-Hulk and Bruce Banner.
I'm Future Jim, and
hey, Future Jim, things are good in Future America.
No,
not good at all.
Sorry, nope.
Oh, jeez.
Nope.
Future Jim, can you give us any good news about the future?
Nope, not one bit. Sorry,
Future Jim, can you carry your ass back to the future then?
I would rather stay here. Time immigrants. Build the time wall.
Build the time wall.
Stop those time immigrants from escaping from the terrible future we're going to make.
Oh man, imagine Hulk smash time wall cartoon.
Yeah, like just Hulk smash time.
Yeah, I'm into that too.
Way into it. So
they talk, and Jennifer has a package for Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner also has a package for Jennifer, but we'll talk about that later. But it's some sort of doodad for his gamma device that he's building, because she's been feeling kind of under the gamma weather. She's not been feeling like super awesome as she usually does. But then while they're talking about that, they notice that Jennifer's car is gone, and so they literally.
There's a lot of like pedestrian problems going on in this episode.
It's really strange.
Like getting sleepy, car getting stolen. Like it's somebody. It's like the Hulk dealing with real life problems is what somebody wanted.
Hulk must go to H&R.
Hulk has to go to the post office.
Why Avengers 1099 Hulk? Hulk full time employee, deserve benefit. Hulk no contractor.
1040 Hulk. So yeah, the car's not just missing. They see it get stolen. Like it's shooting down the road when they get there.
So they chase it down. Banner says he's going to cut down the alley, and I think he even says it's like he names the street. It's like Pass Street or something, or like Ketchup Street.
Really
it's really fucking strange.
Yeah.
But of course, because every time in New York when I step down an alley, I expect a dude with a giant green head to just walk into and interrupt whatever I'm doing. The leader is there, and he wants to put Banner back into his gamma transfer, whatever, his gamma stuff transference device. And Abomination steps up and like hits what is a human, right? Like Banner has no special abilities.
Yeah.
But Bruce just like gets right back. Like Abomination, what the fuck is your problem? Like you can't even deal with the human at this point.
Well, here's the thing: is the Abomination hits him really hard, and then it switches to the credits. So you think like, uh-oh, he's been hit, and then immediately after the credits, he gets back up, and now he's fine. You know, that's like the weird dumb thing about it. He's okay. He does a ninja backflip and then turns into the Hulk.
Yep.
He says, "Too late. The fuse has been lit. I'm now the Hulk." And like, if anybody on this fucking planet should know to watch out for Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk, it should be the leader, right?
Well, the leader even
Christ,
says this.
Idiot.
The leader actually says this to Abomination. I don't know why I can't say this dude's name. Abomination. He says, like, you didn't knock him all the way out. Like, now he's going to turn into the Hulk and fuck all this up. Like, he literally says that in this episode.
Well, I didn't want to collapse his spine because I'm the Abomination. So it's a pretty fucking tightrope you're asking me to walk here, Stearns.
I heard Banner talking about that he doesn't have medical insurance. I didn't think it'd be fair if I put him in the hospital.
Like, yeah. Future Jim told me Obamacare gets repealed. So he's gonna Hulk out. She-Hulk is gonna go rescue. She's still chasing her car and stuff, and she does a couple flips, but she is tired. So they're gonna keep showing that, like her just being kind of tired every once in a while. You can comment on it every time. It's just gonna kind of be a low-level patina across the entire episode. And
Gargoyle is the one that stole the car, because all of this was a ruse so the leader could get to Banner. And Gargoyle immediately says, "You have a certain amorous effect on me." And I'm like, please do not ever say the word amorous in my presence again, sir.
We do not need to see Gargoyle's weird dick.
Yeah, I don't want to know that he has a chub. I do not need to know that.
Never. Like, that's why he wants to turn back so much. It's like Inside Out now and fucking backwards. His balls are in the front. Like, it's a nightmare down there, and he has to get re-de-gamma'd.
How do you have 3 belly buttons?
Oh yeah, one's on a belly button, my friend. Like, check it out. Yeah. So he also realizes that she's less powerful. She lifts him up and has to like put him down because she's tired.
And she just immediately, like, she's like, "Tell me what's going on," and he's like, "I'm not going to do it." So she just dunks a trash can on his head, which is very funny to me.
I love it. And she just kind of stands over him with her arms crossed. He cannot get out of the trash can.
No, because he's so tiny and he doesn't have very long arms.
Yep. So she drives away in her car. We go back to Hulk and Abomination fighting next to a car that has been smashed with some really weirdly animated water. And Leader is literally just standing there in a relaxed pose, just watching bored this whole thing. Super strange, but Hulk eventually starts winning.
Once you've seen one Hulk fight, you've seen them all, Gary. I don't know if you know this.
We should know this is Green Hulk.
Yeah, Grey Hulk does not make an
appearance
in this, right?
Yeah, really weirdly. Like, he's back. He comes back in episode 4, but we just have to be, and in episode 3, but does not show up in this. He eventually chases Leader off.
Yep.
But She-Hulk shows up with her car and is like, hey, big green and handsome, why don't you try giving this a ride? And like points at her crotch, and he like gets in the car.
No, Gary, he doesn't. He picks up the car with Jennifer in it and then jumps away carrying the car.
Right, actually. I forgot about that. He Hulk flies it to the next location.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's so weird. Also, we go back over to Gargoyle, and he's found her high school reunion. I don't remember if we even actually mentioned that she got that in the mail, but she had an invitation.
We talked about how it was handwritten.
Yeah. Her 10-year.
It showed up with the weird device.
Yeah. So now he knows where to go find them because he just guesses that they're definitely going to go to this. Like, despite being weird mutants in the throes of weird gamma radiation, like, oh yeah, let's go to my high school reunion. That sounds fun. Boy, if I could use anything to get out of a high school reunion, like definitely gamma radiation would be top of the list, right?
It'd be a cool thing.
Yeah.
Even though I recently got invited to a high school reunion. I don't think I'm going to go. But one of the reasons I could almost see going is that like, if I was a Hulk, because that would be a fun thing to show off to people, you know?
Sure.
Like if I go now, it's like, oh, I've got this job and stuff like that. But if I was just like literally a Hulk, I'd be like, listen, fuckers, I'm a Hulk now. You know,
I went to Autumn's 10-year anniversary. 10-year. I want to keep wanting to say anniversary for some reason. 10-year reunion, and I got maybe a little too drunk. Maybe I drank a few too many scotch and sodas at the bar while she was entertaining her friends, and then she had pointed out her ex-boyfriend, her high school boyfriend, to me at some point. And later that night, I was leaning on a vehicle, and he was like, "You need to stop leaning on that vehicle." And I was like, "Fuck you."
You hulked out.
I hulked out. Yeah, and she was like, Autumn is grabbing me and pulling me away. Like, what the fuck are you doing, Jeremy? You're fucking 28 years old, or however old we were. Like, you got to get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are we doing out here? So yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to go back to any high school reunions anymore.
No, you're the inner Hulk within.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it. So they fly away.
Yes,
by jumping and carrying the car because for no real good reason or anything. Gargoyle gets out. He's found the invitation which you mentioned. Jennifer still has Hulk. Like Hulk cannot de-Hulk or doesn't want to, so she hides him in a treehouse. And she's like, "You'll have to hide out here because my parents are party poopers." Now, I think it's okay that the God, I just found the part with the reunion note. It's like a ransom letter.
It's bad, right? It's like somebody scribbled it on there. It looks like I'm drawing this. It's like I'm trying to write this up.
There's no graphics or anything. It's just like little tiny text, all caps. Like, very funny. But her parents not being okay with a multitude of Hulks, like having two Hulks in the family, somehow makes them lame.
It's very strange. I love the scene of her putting him inside of the treehouse, though. Like that's fucking gold to me. I just like giant Hulk into this tiny treehouse. Also, lots of implications that things used to go on up here.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily like any of that business, but like there's definitely some like, oh, you remember the last time you were up here, huh, sugar?
Oh, like, of course I do. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Like there's a lot of cousin touching. Like. That is super text in this.
Yeah.
She shows up, and of course, whenever she enters somewhere, she has to go into full sexy mode, and this is her parents. But she does the full sexy mode, it plays the sexy music, and her parents are, like, shocked. Like, the amount of restraint in the show to, like, I'm sure somebody in the writer's room is like, yeah, and then the parents see it, and they're real horny. The parents are real fucking horny for She-Hulk. Yeah. And then, like, somebody was like, hold on there, Bill. Like, they're her parents. We can't quite do that.
Jim Shooter comes out of a closet and is like, hold up.
Hold up. Listen, I don't like this, and I'm Jim Shooter.
Chris Claremont in the corner. I think it's pretty fine, actually. It's not Kitty Pryde.
So, and the dad, I think the dad is Stan Lee. Like, I think that is the voice of the dad, which is a fun little Easter egg.
I mean, he's not credited for that at all. Like, I looked it up because I was curious, and like the voice, that New York accent, that New York Stan Lee accent, as the episode progresses, goes all over the place. I don't know if they just had him do like some lines, and then somebody else came in and tried to do a Stan Lee impression for the other ones. Mm-hmm. But it's very much Stan Lee here, and at the end of the episode, it's very much not Stan Lee. So I don't know what the fuck is happening there.
Yep.
But so yeah, Jennifer does her like show off routine, her fitness kind of routine, and then her mom says, "Oh, you look really tired. You know, I can tell it by looking at your beautiful brown eyes." And Jennifer's like, "Oh shit, my eyes should be green." And again, just yet another sign of her like her gamma-ness is going away. Meanwhile, Gargoyle has arrived with Ogress, Abomination, and a slew of like robot drones on a plane, and has spotted Jennifer's car. by using the magical ability of like a telescope. Like this looks like pretty
he uses
basic.
some binoculars.
Yeah, sure.
And sees her vanity license plate Gamma Girl.
Gamma Girl.
Yeah. And sends out a bunch of drones. The parents are like, hey, you should rest. And she's like, I am not going to rest. And that is where we leave that. We switch over to the Hulk, and the Hulk is still there, but he's watching these birds, which is very funny. And that's enough to relax him back into Bannerhood.
Same. I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, that's
Yep.
you know, just some casual bird watching just relaxes me back into where I weighed 140 pounds less than I usually do. That's my happy place. Oh God, the relief. None of these health problems. Anyway.
So Gargoyle calls in, and he kind of does a status report. One of the things about the Hulk watching the birds too is that previously he had smashed his foot through the floor of the.
I love that dangling Hulk foot. Yeah, and
he's just stuck. He just has this dangling Hulk foot the whole time. Yeah. So the Gargoyle calls in, and the leader's actually like, "You are a fucking cunt struck. Like you are thinking with your dick. Please stop."
You fucking Deadwood watching motherfucker. I literally watched season 2, episode 1, where Swearingen tells Bullock that he's cunt struck.
But let me throw up one finger. They use the phrase in The Favorite, and that's what reminded me of it. I didn't know it was in Deadwood until I watched Deadwood. I watched both.
Okay,
but it's in The Favorite. And I was like, oh, because my girlfriend told me the term that I never heard before, which is dickmotized.
Dickmotized. Like, that's good.
Dickmotized. I was like, oh, you can be dickmotized. And we were trying to come up with something for the opposite. Or for like a girl, and we couldn't come up with one. And we watched The Favorite, and it's like, my friend is so cunt struck. And I was like, oh, cool, cunt struck. And then we watched Deadwood, and they said it, and I was like, has this been a thing for
200 years?
Forever? And we just didn't know? What the fuck? It's really weird.
Oh, man. Cunt struck.
Yeah. I don't know how far reaching dickmotized is. One of her current coworkers and one of my ex-coworkers used the phrase.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's actually a thing.
Yeah, I've never heard it before, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So,
no. Yep.
So yeah, the leader tells
Gargoyle's been chided.
Super cunt struck, and he's like, "You're out here, bye," and just hangs up on him during his "so says the leader" routine, which is again extremely funny. Like that Gargoyle has some chutzpah in this.
In this episode or the last one, he tried to do it. He said like, "So says the Gargoyle," and he's like, "That sucks. I don't like it." It's pretty funny. Banner wakes up in the treehouse. Again, more implied like, you remember what you used to do in this treehouse? Wink. She-Hulk brings him his wallet to go buy new clothes, which like he constantly, we never see these scenes, but he does it a lot. And he gets his like weird little gamma device working.
Do you think he should just get like an elastic, like a fanny pack and just put a couple of changes of clothes up in that bad boy? Like, so when he hulks out, like, I mean, like there seems to be ways around it. And also, why does the Hulk process always turn his pants purple? He's never ever wearing purple pants as Banner.
I don't know. It's real weird. So she has to go to the reunion. She's not going to miss this.
Of course not.
There's a bunch of mean girls who are like, man, she was awful. I bet she doesn't even show up. She's terrible. When she shows up, everybody, again, like a courthouse, everyone goes fucking apeshit. This is an amazing scene, actually. The DJ like calls her out, is like, starts playing a song for her specifically. She does the Macarena so well that all the women's husbands go dance with her.
Yeah, the
Macarena like happened in it. It's pretty amazing.
Is this the Macarena era? Like, I remember the Macarena being way early. I remember this being like, I thought the Macarena was like 93, 94 or something, not 97.
I don't remember. I don't know. It's very strange, though. She does a backflip off the thing. It's a lot like that It's Always Sunny episode where they go to the prom or the high school reunion and they have that dance routine. Except it's actually true. Like, she actually does it. She's tired, so she goes to the bar, which is full of like liquor bottles. Like, it's a kid's show, so they can't show this, but it has tons of liquor bottles, and she orders a cream soda with mint.
Excuse me?
Banner comes.
Oh, what now?
Yeah, gross, right?
Me? Maybe you wouldn't feel so tired if you weren't drinking literal garbage as refreshment.
You weren't drinking milk, fat, and sugar. But Banner, like, stops her from drinking it like it's alcohol. He's like, whoa, grabs it from her. Like, we need to get you in the doohickey.
And he even says, like, no more soda for you, young lady. And I'm like, she's a lawyer. She can make decisions about soda.
Soda. In fact, here, I'll say something. Everyone gets to make decisions about soda. Like, unless you're a literal toddler, you can you don't have to be 18 to drink soda. You know, I don't know, man. This is patronizing and shitty.
I do like his that he's all done up in green though. Like he went out and bought he rented a tux and got a green cummerbund and a green bow tie because why not tell? I mean, she told everybody you're the Hulk. Might as well lead into it, I guess.
Yeah, they have fun. He goes outside and is kidnapped by the cadre of morons, like Ogress and Gargoyle and stuff. They're all out there.
Mm-hmm.
They kidnap him. Abomination knocks him out successfully this time. He's calibrated correctly for not crushing his spine, but also knocking him out. Ogress grabs She-Hulk, and she's now weak, and ordinarily she'd be able to shrug off Ogress no problem.
Yeah, and there's a moment here where Abomination's like, "Hey, we got the dude. Let's get out of here." And Gargoyle peeking through the bushes at She-Hulk is like, "I'm here for her." And I'm just like, "Dude, I need you to dial this down, Mark Hamill. This sounds too much. This is too much."
Did they not have courtship in Russia? How do you think this is appropriate?
This is, I mean, I don't know a lot about Russia, but this might be accurate. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? So he Ogress is holding her. He comes out. He's like, "Hey, I can give you back your strength. But I need one thing in return." And she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Your undying love." And she's like, "No,
absolutely not."
Does not entertain this for a second, which to her credit, because as much as she is gobsmacking, She-Hulk is also kind of awesome in these episodes while also being fucking perplexing and lots of implied incest.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. She refuses, and he's like, "No, I expect you to say something different," and leaves. Essentially, you'll come to me once you are really hard up.
Yeah. So they load Banner up and then go to leave. Put him in the jet
jail
brig.
Of their ship.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jennifer is on the streets walking around, and her hair's fading from green back to brown, and she starts looking in the mirror, and then all of her greenness goes away, and we see a whole flashback of her turning into the Hulk, and the character model from what she was before, the Jennifer that we saw in the last season before she hulked out, and then the character model she now turns into look totally different. And even Jennifer is like, "I look hot now. I'm good." I'm like, "You were drawn really hot before, girl. I'm into the self-confidence. I am. Don't get me wrong, but you haven't changed."
Well, and also she's not hasn't changed in hotness levels, but she has changed her bone structure and stuff. She looks very different. Her
hair color. Yeah, she was blonde before.
Hair color.
Yeah.
The shape of her nose, turning into a Hulk and de-hulking does weird things to your skeletal structure.
Yeah.
Supposedly. Garg shows up again and is like, "Listen, I'll take you, gross." He sticks the robots on her and is just like, "We'll destroy the town. I will have you, my love." And the robots start blowing shit up.
There's a really good line right here where she says, "It's the person that matters on the inside, not the outside." He's like, if you weren't such a toad on the inside, you might have had a chance." Later, it just jets.
Yep. Because Gargoyle's not good. He's just better than the leader. So robots start blowing shit up. We come back to the Abomination, who gets bored. And Banner turns into Hulk, which you had to have known this would happen.
Why?
This happened to you earlier in the fucking episode, my dog.
This happens so often. This is where I noted that by the way, that the high school reunion is taking place in a place called Fat City. That's where they are. PHAT City, Fat
Love
City.
It.
Yeah.
Yep. So Hulk can of course bust out because he is the Hulk, and he can do that whenever he needs to. It's not really up for debate. He literally Kool-Aid Man's his way out of the jet by bursting through the floor.
And he starts
killing robots. In front of Fat City.
Ogress tackles Jennifer, and they go into the high school reunion, and they start fighting. She manages, some stuff is about to fall over, and she manages to save the mean girls, and then immediately asks the DJ for, "Hey, I need a, quote, bumping soundtrack to juice up this walloping." And so the DJ puts on, and this DJ is, a very stereotypical, black...
He's the one black dude there,
sideways.
Other than the one husband.
He's a weird, stereotype of what a DJ is. So, he puts on
DJ
a record...
Jazzy Jeff.
He is DJ Jazzy Jeff. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking weird. But a bumping soundtrack to juice up this walloping.
Woo.
Cool. And her and the Hulk start fighting the robots now.
Jennifer's dad shows up because he's a cop, by the way. They very briefly mention that, but he shows up and it's starting to save people. Gargoyle jets out, and then that's pretty much it. Like they just kill the robots, and like the villains leave, and then everybody pretty much turns back to human, and that's it.
Yep. That's the end of the conflict. However, so her whole thing with depowering and stuff, they kind of say like, yes, you've been working yourself too hard. Banner says this, like, you've been working yourself too hard. If you keep doing that, it might be a permanent, so you gotta not burn the candle at both ends so much. As they leave, they pass the mean girls from earlier who have now painted themselves green.
Yes.
As a fashion thing. Pretty strange.
I mean, like, I guess you do what you love or whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
It seems very odd to me. Like this seems like a real. Like I didn't even paint myself blue for the videos we've been doing on the new YouTube channel. Much less like see somebody do something. They want to paint myself as full body paint myself green. Also, there's another really good example when the camera pans up to Memory Lane, which is the name of the episode. It's written like it's not even like
it's written like a toddler, like a font that you'd use to advertise a kindergarten. Like
weird.
Super weird episode. Good energy. Like I think that again it is funny. I'm in favor of it, but definitely weird. And they just get weirder.
I actually like a lot of the stuff they're doing with She-Hulk right now. Like I think that's all pretty good. Like the weird sexual stuff is a little strange. Hopefully they'll just like pump the brakes on that a little bit. But I actually like her issues with transformation and her kind of body image, like out loud talking about how she likes her body is something that you don't really see or hear in these cartoons. And I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, this is just so fucking goofy in general, like with the Gargoyle and with Banner and all of this other stuff that I'm kind of excited for season 2.
Yeah, it's good. And the next 2 episodes are weirder and gooder. So look forward to it.
Oh boy!
For people listening, we made an offhand reference to it, but this is the first time we recorded since then. We made the Duckfeed stretch goal to where we have now unearthed an archive of videos from the actual X-Men that we are slowly uploading onto YouTube.
Yes.
So
exactly correct.
Yep. So once a week, alternating, there are Ask Gambit and Ask Beast YouTube videos going up on YouTube, and that YouTube channel is...
I don't think it has a name yet because we don't have enough subscribers. So just check the show notes or check the Days of Future Cast Twitter for that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just a string of alphanumeric characters.
Yeah, it's the account is Charles Xavier's account.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, but it does not have a name just yet. But check the show notes. Once we have some more subscribers, we'll have a name. You can also find those on the Slack as well. Every week, alternating. Check those out.
Yes,
and subscribe.
You can send in questions. They're still doing videos. We're unearthing them slowly, but you can ask them questions. That's curiouscat.me/DOFC podcast.
Absolutely, and send them on in.
Yeah.
We mentioned the Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, you can support the entire network, including this show. And we appreciate it as we move through Hulk season 2.
You guys just funded another goal, huh?
We did. It's a little bit tricky because there's a little bit more wiggle on this kind of iteration because people only pay once when they want to sponsor an episode.
Gotcha.
So I imagine people aren't going to just keep up with that. So there's a little bit of an artificial sense of inflation, but we're pretty close to the next goal, which is a show where me and Cole talk about movie and film adaptations of Lovecraft stuff, which will be a patron show. Where we've got a season planned. We have another goal for the second season. There's just not enough material to just kind of make that a literal ongoing forever thing. But a year of it is essentially what season 1 will be.
Cool.
And we are looking forward to that. That's our next stretch goal. We did meet a stretch goal for a second or a third live show in the year. So look forward to that as well. Good time to be a patron. We have a bunch of cool shit. So we really appreciate the support, and we like to think that people get cool stuff in exchange for it.
Absolutely, and I've really been enjoying all the extra. I know this sounds like very shilly, but I actually listen to the shit, so I'm going to talk about it. All the extra like Duckfeed presents stuff, like Weekend It with Will, and the Tony Hawk thing that you put out just recently, just talking about the Tony Hawk games and kind of a top-down method and like all the differences and all that stuff. That was really entertaining. I'm looking forward more to that. Like if you're on that Patreon feed, like it's a good place to be because you get access not only to them. A bunch of episodes early, like that would go out on their main public feeds, but you also get this exclusive stuff, which is actually really good. So, yeah.
yeah, ultimately, you know, I think that I'm really happy with the response. I also feel very comfortable with what we're kind of giving back.
Yes.
Like, I feel like we provide a good value for it. So, I am feeling very good about it.
Yeah.
And, optimistic about the future, despite what, Days of Future Jim has to say.
Fuck Future
for the whole
Jim.
thing. Future Jim had a rough life. And Future Jim just wants to escape from the camps.
I didn't travel to the future to piss in Future Jim's ear. You know what I'm saying? I didn't invent a time machine to go to the future and
Jeremy,
complain about the Trump presidency.
What if you did? What if that was the premise of your time travel manuscript? Like,
I could be kind of into that, I guess. I'm into it.
No, it'd be fun. So anyway, thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you next time with more incredible She-Hulk.
Yep.